Ron.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Planning and Zoning and Board of Adjustment meeting tonight for September 7th, 2017. First order of business will be our Board of Adjustment agenda, and we do not have a public hearing tonight, so we'll just pass that up and open up the regular Board of Adjustment meeting with the minutes from our August the 3rd, 2017 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 3rd, 2017 meeting as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Costello, second by Mrs. Scott to approve the minutes as submitted. Any further questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Deach?
Yes.
Mrs. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Abstain of those.
Mr. Barton?
Yes. Motion passes 4-0 with one abstention. And the next order of business will be the finding of facts for the 1005 Bush Drive variance 38.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the finding of facts and conclusion of law for your review and approval for variance 38 for the property located at 1005 Bush Drive. It was a setback variance approval request at Lot 82, Plat 2 Field of Dreams subdivision. And the request on June the 30th, 2017, a request for variance approval was filed with Planning and Zoning. Monty Cannon or Cannon Builders Incorporated request of variance to allow part of existing residential structure approximately 2 feet by 22 feet to be within the required setback area. And this is you have the draft of the minutes from that meeting and the proposed finding of facts and conclusion of law for your review and approval.
I will make a motion that we approve the findings of fact for variance 38 as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Costello, second by Mr. Deach to approve the finding of facts as submitted for variance 38 at 1005 Bush Drive. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Abstain of those.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Deach?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one abstention. And at this time, we'll close the Board of Adjustment meeting and open up our regular Planning and Zoning meeting for this evening. And first order of business will be to welcome our newest member, Mr. Philip Priest. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Glad you joined us. We have no public hearings for this evening, so we'll just open up the regular Planning and Zoning meeting with the minutes from the August 3rd, 2017 meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Scott, second by Mr. Costello to approve the minutes from our August 3rd meeting as submitted. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Costello?
Yes.
Mr. Deach?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Abstain.
Mrs. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Durbin?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Priest?
Abstain as a new member.
Before we move to the next item, I have a quick question. On August 3rd, we did the sidewalk easements, and I read back through there, and it looks like we can require a easement and payment into the sidewalk fund. So my question is, and I don't expect you to have an answer tonight, but maybe you do. If, let's say I'm developing a 40-acre lot and I divide it into two pieces and I sell half, and then I come back and develop the other half, and I've been required to give the city an easement and pay into the sidewalk fund. Now, when I develop that, if I have to then put in a sidewalk, do I have to pay for that sidewalk twice as a developer, or would the city then put that in because they've had the easement and been given payment for that into the sidewalk fund?
I could verify with City Attorney Graville, but I do not believe the city would make any applicant pay twice for the same sidewalk. I think when the applicant would submit their proposed plan, that would be part of their submittal, that we had previously paid X amount of dollars in for this many feet of sidewalk. And I think it would be addressed by the P&Z Commission and the Board of Aldermen at that time, but I can't see asking someone to pay multiple times for the same section of sidewalk.
Okay.
But I will verify that for you.
Okay, and that I think is the logical answer. So I just like I said, I just kind of wanted to follow up after rereading those today. So okay, sorry.
Thank you. So that motion passes 6-0 with 2 abstentions. And Next order of business will be the Warren County Fair Association Pride in Your Ride Truck Show, special event permit -29.
And I'll leave
This
the
is-
dais. I have the business relationship with the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. Mr. Ham?
This is a approval request for the Warren County Fair Association's Pride in Your Ride Truck Show, special event permit SEP 29. On August 16, 2017, Paul Owenby, care of the Warren County Fair Board, submitted a special event permit SEP-29 approval request for our Pride in Your Ride Truck Show event to be held at the Warren County Fairgrounds on September the 30th, 2017. This is an event that they've held previously in the past. And I'm not aware of any problems during it.
And I don't believe they're making any changes to what they've done in the past.
It looks like it's the exact same setup.
I would make a motion to approve the Pride in Your Ride truck show.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Scott, second by Mr. Cullum, to approve the Warren County Fair Association Pride in Your Ride Truck Show, special event permit -29. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Deitch?
Yes.
Mr. Cullum?
Yes.
Mrs. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Durbin?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Priest?
Yes.
And Mr. Costello abstains.
Motion passes 7-0 with one abstention. I guess we have 2 absent, right? Okay. So that passes. Next order of business will be the Warren County Fair Association Mud Run and Dirt Drags special event permit -30.
This is a special event permit approval request for the Warren County Fair Association's Mud Run and Drag Races, special event permit SEP 30. On August 16, 2017, Paul Owenby, care of the Warren County Fair Board, submitted a special event permit SEP 30 approval request for a Mud Run and Dirt Drags event to be held at the Warren County Fairgrounds on October the 14th, 2017. And I believe this one's also a repeat event that they've held in the past.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the SEP-30 as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Mrs. Scott, second by Mr. Durbin, to approve the Warren County Fair Association Mud Run and Dirt Drags special event permit -30. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Cullum?
Yes.
Mrs. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Durbin?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Priest?
Yes.
Mr. Deitch?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 with 1 abstention and 2 absent. At this time, we'll welcome Mr. Costello back to the dais and close the meeting and turn it over to Mr. Hamp for a report.
Just like to say that, in speaking on the topic that John had mentioned earlier tonight, the city has hired, and I do have a full-time code enforcement officer, Mr. Joseph Lanigan, who's recently started. And we also just hired a new building inspector, Michael Cross. Our existing building inspector, Tom Neldon, is going to be transferred over to the Public Works Department. So hopefully, John, we can stay on top of things a little better now that we have a full-time guy plus our other part-time person. And anytime you guys have items of concern, shoot me an email, and we'll definitely go check on them. And hopefully, most of the time, we'll already have them on our list and be processing them.
Sounds good.
How many housing permits do we have now?
So far this year, there's been 13 issued. We had 7, I believe, in the month of July, which is the first time we've issued 7 in a month since '05, I believe. So that's pretty exciting.
Anybody else have anything for the good of the group? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Dees, second by Mr. Cassell to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming. Have a good evening.